Arctic air is about to reshape the weather pattern across the United States, and if you've been enjoying mild temperatures this week, that's coming to an end. Fast. I'm going to walk you through exactly what's happening, where it's happening, and when you need to be ready. No drama, just the data. Right now, the contrast across this country couldn't be more extreme, and I know this because conditions are varying wildly from one region to the next. Across the Gulf Coast, from Texas through Louisiana and into Mississippi, it's been warm and humid, temperatures running 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Mississippi dealt with severe weather and tornado warnings early this morning. That warm, unstable air mass has been parked over the region all week. South Carolina has seen nothing but rain, near record warmth. That changes dramatically starting Sunday. Missouri has been quiet, temperatures hovering around 40 degrees. Calm conditions. Almost boring for anyone tracking winter weather. That extended mild spell is about to end. Compare that to the high plains. Eastern Colorado saw temperatures drop to 17 degrees this morning, wind chills down to 5 degrees. That's the Arctic air we're going to be discussing. Northeast Florida has enjoyed perfect weather for the past 10 days. Clear skies, comfortable temperatures, that's going to feel like a distant memory by Friday. Maryland and Virginia, many of you have been waiting for snow. 2 years without a major storm in some areas. This pattern shift has potential, but I'm not making promises until we see how these systems develop. South central Wisconsin was seeing rain this morning. As I'm recording this, some areas are already reporting snow starting to fall. That's how quickly this transition is moving through. Now let me show you what's driving all of this. The jet stream is undergoing a significant reconfiguration. We have a deep trough digging into the western United States, and that's allowing Arctic air to spill south out of Canada. This isn't a clipper system. This isn't a quick shot of cold air that moves through in 24 hours. This is a sustained pattern change. The GFS model, the European model, and the Canadian model are all in agreement on the overall setup. That gives me high confidence in the broad strokes of this forecast. The details, the exact timing, the precise snowfall amounts in specific locations, those still have some uncertainty, but the big picture is clear. Let me break down the timeline by region. We'll start in the south and work our way north and east. For the Gulf Coast, the transition begins Sunday. That warm, humid air mass gets shoved out by a cold front. Temperatures drop 20 to 25 degrees in a matter of hours. Sunday morning you might be at 70 degrees. By Sunday evening, you're looking at mid-40s. And that's just the beginning. By Monday, Arctic air fully invades the region. Temperatures struggle to reach 40 degrees during the day. Overnight lows drop into the 20s across most of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Northern sections could see upper teens. If you live in central or southern Florida, you're not immune to this. The cold air makes it that far south. Tuesday morning, central Florida sees temperatures in the low 30s. Some inland areas could touch freezing. That's rare, but it happens when you get a really strong Arctic push. For those in Florida who don't regularly deal with hard freezes, protect your plants. Bring in anything tropical or sensitive to cold. Cover outdoor faucets. This is a short-duration event, but it's intense. South Carolina and Georgia, you're in the crosshairs for potential winter weather Sunday night into Monday. This is where things get tricky. We have cold air moving in. We have moisture from the Gulf. The question is timing. If the moisture arrives while temperatures are still marginal, you get rain that transitions to snow. If the cold air arrives first, you might miss the precipitation entirely. The models are showing a narrow window Sunday night where snow is possible across the upstate of South Carolina and northern Georgia. Accumulations, if they occur, likely stay under 2 inches. This isn't a major snowstorm, but even light snow causes problems if people aren't expecting it. Roads could be slick Monday morning. That's the concern, not the total accumulation, the timing during the morning commute. Tennessee and Kentucky, you're looking at a similar setup. Cold air arrives Sunday. Moisture moves through Sunday night into Monday. Northern Tennessee, especially areas near the Kentucky border, could see a few inches of snow. The Cumberland Plateau, the higher elevations, those areas have the best chance for measurable snow. Nashville, you're on the southern edge of this. You might see flurries, you might see nothing. It depends on how far south that moisture track shifts. The Ohio Valley and lower Great Lakes, This is where confidence increases for significant snowfall. Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, you're looking at a potent system Monday into Tuesday. Cold air is already in place across this region. Temperatures Monday morning are in the teens and low 20s. When the moisture arrives Monday afternoon, it falls as snow from the start. No mixing, no rain, just snow. The models are showing a swath of 4 to 8 inches from central Indiana through central Ohio. Some areas could push 10 inches if banding sets up. Banding is when snow falls in a concentrated line, and snowfall rates can reach 1 to 2 inches per hour in those bands. If you're in Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, Columbus, or Dayton, prepare for snow Monday afternoon through Tuesday morning. Visibility drops. Roads deteriorate quickly. This is a shovel multiple times event. Don't wait until Tuesday morning to clear your driveway. Do it Monday night, then again Tuesday morning. The Chicago area sees snow Monday, but amounts are lighter, 2 to 4 inches. Enough to cause travel issues, but not a major event by Chicago standards. The heavier snow stays to your east. Here's something critical for anyone in the Great Lakes region. Behind this system, lake effect snow develops Tuesday into Wednesday. Winds shift to the northwest, blowing across Lake Michigan and Lake Erie. That sets up lake effect snow bands downwind of the lakes. Western Michigan, especially areas from Muskegon to Traverse City, you could see an additional 6 to 12 inches from lake effect through Wednesday. The same goes for the snow belt east of Cleveland. Ashtabula, you know the drill. When winds come out of the west or northwest across Lake Erie, you get hammered. Lake effect snow is unpredictable in terms of exact location. A shift in wind direction of 10 degrees can mean the difference between 6 inches and nothing. Monitor local forecasts closely if you're in lake effect-prone areas. The Mid-Atlantic is the most uncertain part of this forecast. And I know many of you in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania have been hoping for snow. This setup has ingredients for a coastal storm, but the timing and track are not locked in. Here's what we know. Cold air floods into the region Monday and Tuesday. No question about that. Temperatures drop into the 20s and teens. What's uncertain is whether a low-pressure system develops off the coast and brings significant snow, or whether it stays too far offshore and you get nothing but cold. The GFS model has been showing a coastal storm developing Tuesday night into Wednesday, bringing moderate to heavy snow from Washington, D.C. through Baltimore, Philadelphia, and into southern New Jersey. Amounts in that scenario range from 4 to 8 inches. The European model is less aggressive. It keeps the low pressure further offshore. In that scenario, you get light snow, maybe an inch or two, but nothing significant. This is a classic setup where small differences in the storm track make huge differences in who sees heavy snow. 50 miles east or west changes everything. My confidence level on this part of the forecast is a 3 out of 5. Maybe a 4 out of 5 that you see cold temperatures, but only a 2 out of 5 on significant snowfall for the I-95 corridor. If you live in this region, stay flexible with your plans for Tuesday and Wednesday. Don't cancel anything yet, but be ready to adjust if the forecast trends toward a bigger storm. The interior Northeast, upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, you're looking at snow Monday through Wednesday. Nothing blockbuster, but steady accumulations, 3 to 6 inches in most areas. The Green Mountains and Adirondacks could see 8 to 10 inches. Boston and the coastal plain of New England, you're in a similar boat as the Mid-Atlantic. Cold air, yes. Significant snow, uncertain. It depends on that coastal storm development. Now let's talk about the cold. Because the snow is one thing, the Arctic air behind it is another. By Wednesday, high temperatures across the northern tier of the country don't get out of the single digits. Fargo, Minneapolis, Green Bay, you're looking at highs around 0 to 5 degrees. Overnight lows drop to 10, 15, even 20 below zero in some areas. The wind chill is brutal. When you factor in winds of 15 to 25 miles per hour, wind chills drop to 25, 30 below zero. That's dangerous. Frostbite occurs in 10 minutes or less at those wind chills. If you're in the upper Midwest or northern plains, limit your time outside Wednesday and Thursday. If you have to be outside, cover all exposed skin, multiple layers, insulated gloves, face covering. Check on elderly neighbors. Make sure they have adequate heat. Make sure their pipes aren't at risk of freezing. Homes that aren't well insulated, you need to let faucets drip Wednesday night to prevent pipes from freezing and bursting. The cold air pushes south through the week. By Thursday, even the deep south is dealing with temperatures in the 20s and low 30s. Atlanta, you're looking at a high around 35 degrees Thursday. That's cold for Atlanta in January. Across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, high temperatures Thursday stay in the teens and low 20s. Overnight lows drop to single digits and low teens. This is sustained cold, not a quick shot. Here's where I want to draw a comparison. Many of you remember the polar vortex of 2014. That event brought extreme cold across the eastern two-thirds of the country. Temperatures dropped to 30, 40 below zero in some areas. Wind chills reached 50, 60 below. This event is not that extreme. The coldest temperatures in this pattern are 10 to 15 degrees warmer than what we saw in 2014. That's still dangerously cold, but it's not record-breaking. The duration is also shorter. The 2014 event lasted a week. This Arctic blast peaks Wednesday and Thursday, then starts to moderate by the weekend. We're not looking at an extended deep freeze. That said, don't underestimate this. Cold is cold, especially for areas that don't regularly see single-digit temperatures. The South. I'm talking to you. When you're not accustomed to this kind of cold, it's easy to make mistakes. Pipes freeze. People go outside underdressed. Carbon monoxide poisoning increases because people use improper heating sources. Let me give you some specific actions based on where you are. If you're in the northern tier, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, North Dakota, you know how to handle cold, but this is extreme even for you. Stock up on supplies now. If power goes out when it's 20 below zero, that's a life-threatening situation. Have backup heat sources, generator if you have one. Make sure it's properly ventilated. Never run a generator indoors. Vehicles struggle in extreme cold. Block heaters help. If you don't have one, consider letting your vehicle idle for 10 minutes before driving. Cold oil doesn't lubricate properly. Batteries lose capacity in the cold. If your battery is more than 3 or 4 years old, it might not start Wednesday morning. For the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, this is unusual cold for your region. Protect your pipes. Open cabinet doors under sinks to allow warm air to circulate. Let faucets drip if temperatures drop below 20 degrees for an extended period. If you lose power, you lose heat. Have blankets. Have a way to stay warm that doesn't rely on electricity. Fireplaces work if you have one. Make sure the flue is open. Never use your oven or stovetop to heat your home. Carbon monoxide builds up. The South. This is where mistakes happen because people aren't prepared. You don't own heavy winter coats. That's fine. Multiple thin layers work better anyway. Base layer, insulating layer, windproof outer layer. That combination keeps you warmer than a single heavy coat. Cover outdoor faucets. Disconnect garden hoses. If you have an outdoor irrigation system, make sure it's winterized. Sprinkler heads can burst if water freezes inside them. Bring pets indoors. I shouldn't have to say this, but every time we get extreme cold, we see reports of animals left outside. Dogs and cats can't handle prolonged exposure to temperatures in the teens and 20s, especially with wind. Livestock needs shelter and access to unfrozen water. If you have animals, you know this. But check water sources multiple times a day. They freeze faster than you think. For everyone, regardless of region, check your heating system now. Change your furnace filter if you haven't recently. A clogged filter makes your system work harder and can cause it to fail. That's the last thing you want when it's 5 degrees outside. Space heaters are a leading cause of house fires in winter. If you use one, keep it 3 feet away from anything flammable. Don't run it when you're asleep or away from home. Plug it directly into a wall outlet, not an extension cord. Have flashlights and batteries ready. Have a battery-powered or hand-crank radio. If power goes out, you need a way to get information. Stock up on food that doesn't require cooking. Peanut butter, bread, canned goods, protein bars. If you lose power, you lose your stove if it's electric. Even gas stoves often have electric ignition systems. Water is less of a concern in cold weather than in summer heat events, but have some bottled water on hand anyway. If pipes freeze, you lose running water. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. Winter weather in winter. This isn't unprecedented. This isn't climate apocalypse. This is winter doing what winter does. You've seen cold before. Many of you remember the blizzard of '78, the blizzard of '93, the polar vortex of 2014. You lived through those. You'll live through this. What makes this notable is the southward extent of the cold and the contrast with the mild weather many areas have been experiencing. If you've been at 70 degrees all week, dropping to 20 degrees feels extreme. But it's not unusual for January. It's just been a while. The pattern after this cold blast looks to moderate. By next weekend, temperatures start to recover. Not back to 70 degrees, but back to seasonable levels. 30s and 40s across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. 20s and 30s across the upper Midwest. That's normal for mid-January. Looking further ahead into late January, the pattern might support another system. Too early for details. But the setup suggests we're entering a more active winter pattern compared to what we've seen so far this season. For those keeping track of seasonal snowfall, the Great Lakes region and interior Northeast are running near or slightly above normal. The Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley are running below normal in most areas. This system helps, but one event doesn't make up for a snow deficit. One more thing. The models update every 6 hours. This forecast is based on the latest data as of this recording, but details can and will change. Snowfall amounts could shift. The coastal storm track could adjust. That's why you need to monitor local forecasts from the National Weather Service. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have every detail nailed down 5 days in advance. I don't. No one does. What I can tell you is the broad pattern is locked in. Arctic air is coming. Snow is likely across a large portion of the country. The exact amounts and timing in specific locations will firm up as we get closer. If you take nothing else from this forecast, take this. Prepare now. Don't wait until Sunday night when the snow is starting. Go to the store today. Get supplies. Check your furnace. Find your winter gear. This is serious. People can get hurt in weather like this. Cars slide off roads. People get stranded. Hypothermia and frostbite are real risks. But it's not the end of the world. It's winter. You know what to do. You've done it before. Just don't take it lightly. Stay safe, stay warm, and check back for updates as this system gets closer.